before we had a phone call, I was speaking with you about perfect questions calling forth their answers. And the answer that you gave me sort of was the answer of language, I suppose. You said it calls forth a question. I'm actually speaking of, it might be a little different, or maybe not, the effect of asking a question, such as, asking yourself, where did that little screw go, or something like that, and then the answer coming in an actual, experience of finding the little screw thing. My question was, I guess, when put into that context, do perfect questions, and the ones you don't know the answer to, do they call forth answers? Actual experiential answers, or, not just linguistic answers?
I see what you're saying. You're asking if that dynamic can be set up like in the air, like as a dynamic or as an energy. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know what you mean by as an energy, but I probably mean the same thing. I mean to say, if you ask yourself questions about your life or something that's happening right then that you don't know the answer to, if the experience of the answer will come.
Yes, if you leave the void. If it's as you started this whole thing off, you said the actual need for an answer, meaning that you actually do not know. That kind of question does cause a void, and it is a void that will be filled with the answer, so yes. One thing about a void that makes it a void, by virtue of being a void, is that it needs filled. Good, Judith.
This may be repetitive. But when Brian said that, what came here was the energy of a question going out into the nothingness or whatever, and actually attracting the answer that resonated, the answer of truth that resonated with the question being asked, and in that way the question bringing forth the answer. Is that what's being spoken here? Because that's what came.
It seems like perhaps that's not what Brian started off with, but yes, that seems to be where we are with it now. That a question asked that begs the answer, that there actually is not an answer known. The question itself calls for the answer. If you ask a question that you actually care for the answer, you might ask a question, why did my wife leave me? And perhaps you'll discover the answer because you're an asshole. But you say, no, I meant actually, why did she leave me? You'll throw that answer away, which is the true answer, and keep looking.
Yes, but I mean, this isn't a real example, but it's an example. I'm looking for a screw that holds down an air filter cover. And I ask, where is the screw that holds down the air filter cover? And I'll look around and I'll see it on another machine. And I can't just go over there. I could, but I mean, it would be just cause another, the whole situation happen again if I take it off the other machine. So I have an answer. There it is, but I can't go over there and take it off. Put it on this one. See, that's what I mean by the unacceptable answer.
Well, no, that's a perfect answer. When you see the screw that you need on top of another machine, it causes a new question to be created. Where is a screw that I can use now that I found out where the one I need is? So it creates its own question. Where can I find a screw that I can use now that I know where the one that I needed is? So that's a perfect happening there.
But in doing this sort of experiment, I discovered that I find some stuff in the weirdest places. I'll wander away from where I expect it to be, because that's really the killer. It's looking for where you expect it to be. Because if I do that, then I spend a lot of time looking where I expect it to be before I finally get to the sort of wandering around to where it actually is, which isn't where it often isn't where I expect it to be. So I've begun this process. But I've begun to simply ask the question and then sort of wander wherever I go. It's hard to explain what I mean by wander wherever I go, because it's not it must not be random, but it seems random.
Well, we've got a common experience there then.